The next section in chapter 1 is titled Getting Used to SI. And he goes on to say in this section that, even though SI has been adopted by most countries of the world, it hasn't eliminated the systems that were previously used. Um, un, Not unlike habits that we have, units have become a part of ourselves. And sometimes it's hard for us to let go of some of those. It's not easy to switch overnight from yards to meters. You think in terms of watching a football game, and we still in the United States subscribe to this concept of a yard, and it's very natural to do that because we've been doing it for so long. Um, but this natural association with units that we acquire over time, it's important too in the fact that it gives us a feel for what this unit is and what it measures. But nevertheless, he goes on to say that the importance of SI, particularly in electrical and mechanical fields, makes it very important for us to know the essentials of it. And one thing that is very helpful, and a focus of this particular chapter, is teaching us ways to convert between systems of units, and to be able to do this very easily without lots of calculations or headaches in going through that process. Now, I will say this: we're going to explore this concept that Wilde developed, which involves using conversion charts, and I'll show you where those are in your textbook in just a second. But at the same time, the internet and access to everything available there makes conversion between units very easy. And it's a Google away from converting from meters to yards, or mass kilograms to pounds, or whatever. And we acknowledge that, and we want to make sure that we use that when we need to. But at the same time, this process that we'll go through in just the next section or so gives us a really good feel for the relationship between different units, between systems. Now, the last thing in this section, he talks about the particular features of SI. Let me bring those up to you, and let's look at that for a second. The particular features of SI that make it so useful for us: it is a decimal system. Everything's based on groups of 10, which makes conversion and expansion very easily. The units used in SI are commonly used in industry and commerce, and we recognize those units such as volts and amperes and kilograms and watts. SI is a coherent system, meaning that, what does it mean by coherent? It means that the relationships in electricity and mechanics and heat are expressed within this system. And then the last thing he mentions as a feature of SI is that it can be used across multiple disciplines. It can be used at one level, such as the research scientist, the technician, practicing engineer. And what it does, it allows us to blend sort of the theoretical and the practical. And then the last thing he mentions there in the final paragraph is that, SI has particular advantages, but it's not the answer to everything. And there are some units that still day to day we're going to find as being more convenient for us. And some of those units, for instance, like when we're measuring angles, we tend to still be more comfortable in measuring in degrees versus the SI unit of radian. Of course, radian gives us more precision through that, but at the same time, it's just not something that we use commonly. And the other one would be maybe days and hours. It's still used in spite of the fact that the SI unit of time is the second. And of course, there's some particular larger measures of time where using the second is just not a practical thing.